Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live. It's now the sports desk that we have on a Friday. And in studio, I'd like to welcome our sports analyst, Feroz Shaik. Assalamu alaikum, Feroz.
Walaikum salam, Lukman. Another Friday and good to be here again.
Absolutely. It's amazing how the week flies by.
Absolutely.
So much sport as well. But I like what you do on the show where you invite people that have just made a difference in the sporting, arena. Who do you have first this week?
Well, tonight we're talking to a legend. His name is Gora Ebrahim, obviously from Johannesburg.
Brilliant.
I believe he's going to be moving down to Cape Town soon.
Inshallah. Okay.
Yeah, so he's also launched a book. So I thought let's get him on Hilaal and let's chat to him about his career and his book as well.
Fantastic. Well, take it away. All yours.
Gora Ebrahim, assalamu alaikum, and thanks for making the time.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me on the show, Feroz. It's always a pleasure chatting to you on a very new platform, of course.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure talking to you. Of course, you played for VOB, Vereniging Old Boys, Blue Bells, Swaraj, Dynamos, Pirates and Blackpool, quite a lot of teams as a defender. Now you're an author as well. But before we talk about your footballing days, we want to touch a little bit on your book. Before that, though, I believe you are in Roshni tonight, which is your hometown. So what's happening in Roshni?
So I've been 31 years away from home. I'm a Roshni boy, Feroz, born and bred. My family are pioneers of Vereniging, pioneers of Roshni. And since I've been away, a lot has happened. My football took off. My football hit its nadir after it hit its zenith many years ago. And then, cut a long story short, through all my long experiences in life, I wrote a book. And the book is being very well received. I've been to quite a few places promoting my book. I haven't been to Roshni. And tonight I come home for the very first time with my book, which really speaks about the locals, many of whom will be there. And of course, my journey outside of Roshni. It's exciting. I feel excited. I think the town is excited too.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about that book a little bit, Gora. No Regrets, that's the title. Firstly, why the title No Regrets? And then talk to us about some of the things you talk about in the book itself.
So yeah, I started writing during the COVID pandemic. I had a bit of time and I started writing the book as an explanation for my poor behavior over 50 years ago when I was playing for, or just under 50 years ago when I was playing for Rabali Blackpool. It gave me a chance to sort of delve, to sort of deep dive and try to understand the reasons why my behavior was so uncharacteristic, as many people know me. And as I wrote, I gave it some context. And of course, after post pre-context, and eventually it morphed into a book, which is quite exciting, I think. And the book, No Regrets, means obviously we can never have no regrets. There will always be some regrets, but I just felt that I wrote with that in mind, trying to rid myself, extricate myself from the regret I felt from the day that my football career came to an end.
So I don't want to talk too much about that, but maybe just a little bit for our viewers to have an idea when you talk about that misfortune with Rabali Blackpool. Just give us a few ideas in terms of what happened during that time that made you eventually want to write the book.
So obviously, what I did after it happened, I suppressed a lot of it. Never watched the game again. Then I listened to what a lot of people had to say. Obviously, there were a lot of jibes, and a lot of people sort of had their own opinions. And when I entered the Facebook for the first time, the platform, writing of all sorts of things, there was this overwhelming plea from the fans on Facebook for me to give a sort of an explanation of what happened. So that is actually what made me write this book, to to put the viewers sort of to explain to them exactly what happened on that day. It was something that happened that was totally out of character. I was the captain of the Bali Blackpool, a team that found themselves at the wrong end of the table, fighting relegation with a highly talented team. We were training in Johannesburg, playing from Venda, and I was under tremendous pressure to produce the goods for the club. And when they appointed me as captain, there were lots of pressures off the field, as they were at the time in our football. But when I was substituted, I think I buckled under the pressure, if you like, and completely lost my mind and thought that the coach, who I was having quite a difficult time with at the time, they had done it on purpose. I still feel today that me being subbed off wasn't warranted. However, what happened in the next couple of minutes was me attacking him was totally out of character and should never have happened. So I speak to a lot of people who say, but you know, you're human, it did happen. But having said that, shouldn't have happened because I was a professional on the field, I was a professional in the classroom, and I should have known better.
Fantastic. That wants me want to read that book now. Now, Gora, you've been aggressively marketing your book, been to various centers around the country, obviously in your hometown now of Roshni, and I believe a book fair thrown in between as well. So talk to us about some of the centers you've been to and what's been the feedback from those that attended your book launch.
So before I published my book, I sent my book to Thomas Kwenaite, who is a sports journalist on SABC in one of the programs. Then I sent my manuscript to Salve Hadebe at the Sunday Times. Who is a senior sports writer. And I also sent it to many people who I thought would give me an honest opinion. And all of them came back with the same feedback. And they said to me, you have to publish this book. It needs to go out. It needs to be read by the youth. It needs to be read by the ordinary person, by the sports person, by people who want to hear a story of resilience, a resilience that I didn't know I had until I was pushed into a corner. And I needed to be resilient, to put it that way. So I've got some fantastic reviews. However, my book hasn't been marketed by anybody at the moment. It will be by a company called Blue Weaver, who has their headquarters in Luxembourg. I will be spending a lot of time with them when I get back. But at the moment, I'm doing it pretty much on my own. I've been to Lodium. I've been to Durban. I'm on my way to Bloemfontein. I'm going back to Durban. I'm going to Botswana on Monday, and I'm being invited by Ismail Bamsi's son, Naeem, and the community in Gaborone. I'm so excited. So, and today I'm in Rochester. And so there's a lot happening. And obviously, when I'm as a teacher, it's difficult to organize these things because it takes a lot of time. I've taken a small sabbatical and promoting the book. And that's pretty much where I am right now.
Now, you've missed Cape Town, Gora. When are you coming to Cape Town?
So, that's the most exciting part of all. We're relocating to Cape Town,
wow.
Believe it or not, at the end of April. So I haven't been to Cape Town. I'm not in a hurry to go to Cape Town until I'm there. I keep in touch, regular touch with Bobby Solomon and with some of the ex-Cape Townian soccer professionals and now the legends. So when I'm there, and I know I'll be given a good platform to showcase the book and hopefully get others to read it. But I must tell you, Feroz, what I'd really like to do is to get the book out to every learner in school, especially a learner that wants to play professional football. This book will tell you what it takes mentally and what you need to be prepared for it. Because life is not just or football, even if you are a professional footballer.
Now, Gora, we've just seen a picture of your wonderful family and from one of those photos. So there must have been a lot of support from your family. Do you want to just touch a little bit on the sacrifices that they've made so far during this journey?
Yes, I always say, if I have a look at the incident that took place in Venda, I was 28 years old. I was just about to turn 29. My second daughter had just been born. I gave up my teaching. I gave up everything just to play football. And then football came to an end. And when football came to an end, football was for me, but education became that was for my family. So I think the Lord worked in mysterious ways. That was what it was. And since my football has just come to an end, I've had the time to spend with my family. My daughters, perhaps my biggest fans, and my son finds himself, in Poland, believe it or not, playing for a Division 5 team, playing football and working. My girls are still with me. My daughter, the big one, just got married, and she'll be with me tonight. She's a speaker at tonight's event. She's about to do a doctorate. My second daughter, Rizwana, my first one, Shaja. My daughter, Rizwana, was the mayor's PA. She's just gone into a new job with a German company. And my last daughter, Alia, has studied. She's done at a school called EVDA. She did directing and film script writing. So basically, that's us. And of course, my wife, who is also in education, she's now retiring, and hence we're coming down to Cape Town. Whew, I think you got a mouthful for me. I love speaking about my family skills.
Gora Ebrahim, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. The author of No Regrets and former footballer for Vereniging Old Boys, Blue Bells, Swaraj, Dynamos and Pirates. Thanks for making the time, and we look forward to seeing you in Cape Town soon, inshallah.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait. And thank you for having me on the program. God willing, we will speak to each other very soon. Thank you.
Gora, we'd love to have you in studio in 3D at our Cape Town studios when you are here. We're looking forward to it. All the best to you and your family. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Lukman.
My pleasure. And that's Gora Ebrahim. What a lovely character
fantastic.
And a legend of the game as
Absolutely.
well. We're going to have him in Cape Town. How awesome is that?
Absolutely. And just a pity we couldn't talk about his career because he's played for so many teams.
Wow.
Orlando Pirates thrown in there. You know, he played in the FPL and the NSL.
Well, that's the interview in studio that we're going to have, inshallah. After the break, we continue with the sports desk. Do keep watching us on Hilaal Live. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. And before the break, we chatted to Gora Ebrahim, who's launched his new book. And it's going to be launched tonight, or is it been launched already?
It's been launched already, but tonight he's in his hometown of Roshni, which he said he's been there after 30 years. Wow.
That's such an amazing town as well. It's produced so many wonderful sportsmen and women. So it's so nice that he pays homage to his town, and unfortunately we couldn't get to him. But we will. When he's back in Cape Town, we'll definitely get him into studio as well. But we're going to continue with some of the other sports that's been happening in and around the world. What do you have for us, Feroz?
Well, let's start off with that over 40 World Cup, the 12-team tournament taking place right here in Cape Town. Now, the Proteas, they've won a few matches. They lost today. They beat Wales by 8 wickets in their first match. Then they beat Sri Lanka by 4 wickets. They beat the UAE by 156 runs. Today, they lost to New Zealand, unfortunately, their first loss of the tournament. South Africa made 227 for 7. New Zealand 228 for 7. So New Zealand winning by 3 wickets.
Okay, we had Ridwan in studio not too long ago. That's the same tournament he's playing in, and it's been played here?
It's been playing here.
That's so amazing. So you've got legends coming from all over the world in South Africa right now.
Absolutely. Just to give you an idea, today's match, New Zealand had a former test player, James Marshall, playing for them. He made about 70 odd.
Long-haired James Marshall.
Yes, so England has got Nick Compton, former test player as well. So there's quite a few former first class and test cricketers playing in the over 40 World Cup. So that's happening right here. Today's match was in Claremont. I think tomorrow's a rest day, and on Sunday they're playing India. But unfortunately, that's in Durbanville. Quite a I would have loved for it to be here.
It would have been nice, but okay, it's a nice trek out.
Correct.
Yeah. So the final takes place when?
Final takes place on the 1st of March at the Western Province Cricket Club. And on the local scene, of course, the CSA 4-day series comes to an end this weekend. One match is over. I can tell you, Western Province thumping the Dolphins there by an innings and 258 runs. Northwest and Boland, these are the latest scores that we have. Northwest 484, Boland 127 for 5. Titans and the Lions, the Titans 227 and 35 for 2. The Lions were bowled out for 293 in their first innings. The Warriors are playing KZN Inland. Warriors 517 for 3. Tristan Stubbs, Lukman, got a triple century in that match. Now, before this final round started, the Dolphins were topping the table ahead of the Titans, followed by the Lions and Province. Now it seems like Province have gone to the top after their win today. So we'll have to wait for the end of the matches to see who's going to go through to the final next week. Now,
do you still what is the triple one called again in cricket? There's a name for it. You have to lift your legs. That tradition. Do you still do that?
That's 111. That's Nelson, and 222 is double Nelson.
Okay, you gotta lift your legs at Nelson.
Well, some of them are suspicious. Some do that, some do not.
Of course.
Yeah. On the local scene, the Western Province Veterans Cricket Association League heads to the knockout stages as well, with the semi-finals taking place next Wednesday, the 28th. Brackenfell taking on Claremont, and Primrose are hosting Ottoman at Lock Road in Kenilworth in that other semi-final. That final takes place at Claremont next Sunday, the 3rd of March. So there's 6 matches in the Premier League this weekend. Lukman, I know we spoke about it earlier on. Your team is knocking the goals. They're only talking high numbers at the moment.
I tell you what, it's looking like rugby scores at the moment, because the way these guys are scoring, and yes, it's nice to see them play well. We know that it can't last. Every team goes through hurdles, but it's so glad to see my team playing well. A couple of points, a game behind Liverpool at the moment, but beating Liverpool, the top of the log. I thought that was excellent. Liverpool played excellently the other night as well. They won, 4-1?
4-1.
Yeah. I think that was a great game. I think it was Burnley or
Luton. They beat Luton 4-1.
And that's one of the most underrated teams, I think,
absolutely,
in the league.
Yeah. So there's 6 games taking place tomorrow. The games that kick off at 5. Aston Villa play Nottingham Forest. Brighton take on Everton. Burnley travel to Crystal Palace, and United play Fulham. Bournemouth play City at 7:30. And Arsenal take on Newcastle. That's the late game at 10 o'clock. And on Sunday, of course, is the Carabao Cup final. Chelsea playing Liverpool. It's a repeat of the final a couple of years ago.
That's correct.
That went to a penalty shootout. So that match taking place at Wembley, starting at 5 o'clock. Yeah. On the local scene, there's Nedbank Cup round of 32 action this weekend. 2 matches tonight. Arrows playing TS Galaxy, and Stellenbosch at home to Pretoria Callies. Now the Blitzboks are also in action in the Vancouver Sevens. They start tonight. They play New Zealand. That's about 10 to 12 tonight. That will be followed by Great Britain and Ireland. Of course, those games will be taking place tomorrow. And finally, if you are preparing for that Comrades Marathon, we'll be covering the road shows. It finally ends on the 28th, that next Wednesday. They're in Gauteng North at the Tuks Athletic Club, the South Street Hillcrest Sports Campus, University of Pretoria, Hatfield. That's where they'll be. So if you're taking part in the Comrades and you're in that area, please go and attend that seminar, the workshop. There's lots to learn from that. And of course, that race takes place on the 9th of June. Lukman.
Looking good. Lots to come through. Any other big sporting events happening this year?
This year, well, the Springboks, they've got a lot of action this year. They kick off their season against Wales.
Yeah,
and then
so does New Zealand. They kick off their season as well.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big one.
Correct.
They're coming to South Africa in September.
I know you've marked that already.
If I have to donate a kidney, I'll do so, just to be at that game, because it's been a while since they've been there. It's going to be at the Cape Town Stadium.
Correct.
Would have been lovely if it was at Newlands.
Correct.
We know that's not a thing now as well. Other sporting codes?
The Rugby Championship as well.
Oh, yes.
And then Ireland are coming down as well. I know they're playing a game in Durban.
Okay.
So there's lots of rugby happening.
Stunning. We should get some rugby guys in. Get some rugby experts in and get their analysis, because it's such a look. We grew up in Derbs, right? And it's non-existent in the non-white communities back when we were growing up. Rugby. Maybe now there's probably a few, but in Cape Town it's an absolute religion.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's huge in Cape Town.
I just love the camaraderie, the family spirit. the community spirit, how they support their team as well. We do know that certain clubs are struggling with home grounds. Facilities are not made available as well, and maybe you should get somebody in from the union to speak about that. What's happening with regards to that? I'd love to hear.
No, absolutely. Like you said, there are some teams that are battling,
Yeah.
don't even have home grounds, and they have to play all their home games away. So yeah, maybe we'll look into that as well. Of course, there's also Test cricket, India and
Yes, I forgot about
England
that.
taking the fourth
Yes.
test happening at the moment as well. There's so much of cricket taking place. There's so
course.
much of sport taking place.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to cover everything, but we're trying our best to bring
Of course.
everything to our viewers.
Of course, and viewers, if you are a sporting, you belong to a club, you've got a youngster that's doing well, get hold of us. Lukman at Hilaal.tv, give us a shout, and we'd love to focus.
Absolutely.
On them. We've got so many youngsters that are just evolving. I saw a youngster that's off of the gymnastics championship soon. They were raising funds to try and send her over. There's another roller derby or roller skating championship that's happening. I mean, our youth is just doing something else. There's a chess championship that's happening this weekend, I think, in Belleville area. So we'd love to cover all of that, and please get hold of us so we can. How's your team doing in the English Premier League? Are they?
Yeah, our team, my team,
Do we have to still
as
use
in Manchester United.
that team?
Yeah, we climb. We've got 4 wins in a row.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
we are getting there.
Look, the league's never the same without Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, the big 5, 6.
Yeah, for me, it's the teams with the history.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Arsenal were out of it for a while.
Correct.
Good to see them back.
Correct.
Liverpool,
Yeah.
United. Everton is a huge team.
Newcastle.
Newcastle a huge
Brilliant.
team.
Playing massive
even
football.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, they won the European Cup.
There we go.
So those are all huge teams. It's good to see them back in the top flight.
And sometime or the other, those teams won the English Premier League sometime in their career.
Correct.
So at one time or the other, they had wonderful footballers. And obviously, every team goes through their roller coaster. I mean, we bumped into Joe Masono the other day at the Palestine game. And what a gentleman of the game.
Absolutely.
Amazing guy. Posed for photos with us, chatted to us on the field. Bobby Solomons was there, absolute legend as well. Feroz Shaik, also legend, part of the Safa team.
Yeah.
Palestine walking away 1-0, the victors on the day. Lovely to see them taking that cup away. Dignitaries present as well. All in all, it was a lovely game. We commentated, and how did you enjoy it?
I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. First experience commentating a
More
football match. And it was absolutely brilliant. But I just want to touch a little bit on Joe Mosono.
Yes.
He's a legend.
Absolutely.
Right? Orlando Pirates, played for New York Cosmos, played with Pele.
With Pele, yeah, back in the day.
He's such a humble guy. It's actually brilliant.
And he says, watch out, his team's going to come back, bounce back in the next 2 years.
Jomo
so
Cosmos.
Do look out for that. And when he says something, it happens.
Absolutely.
Feroz, it's been an absolute amazing evening. Have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you. You got a busy weekend. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. Shukr so much. Jazakallah so much for joining us on Hilaal Live. Look out for us this weekend at the Spice Maker Ramadan Souk. We're going to be there live. If you're based in other parts of the country, you're welcome to watch it live on our live stream, www.hilaal.tv or channel 347 on Hilaal TV. From the technical team, Sohail Barnes, myself hosting the shows, and Feroz Shaik, who's also sports analysis, we wish you a lovely weekend. Assalamu alaikum.